Uh, so good afternoon, Dr. Srijit. Are you able to listen to me? Dr. Srijit जान के ये तो कौन जान के है? Jacob ji, are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Fine. Are you able to see the
Yes,
screen?
I can. I can.
Yeah, whether it is
The
moving?
No, yeah, now it is moving.
Okay, fine. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, namaskar, good afternoon to all of you. So today we'll be discussing about the forecast for January to March, and specifically for the month of January 2025. But prior to that, on behalf of myself and on behalf of India Meteorological Department, I wish all of you and your families a very happy and prosperous New Year. I extend a warm welcome to all of you for today's interaction with respect to the weather forecast for the ensuing months and seasons. So while we'll be discussing about the expected weather during January to March, I will also present you the performance of our weather forecast and the various types of severe weather which occurred during the December 2024. Now let us have a look on the left-hand side diagram is the district-wise rainfall distribution during the period 1st October to 31st December. As you can see from that diagram, that northeastern states, eastern parts of the country, South Peninsula, and West Central India could get good rainfall activity, along with some parts of Northwest India. The UP and Bihar, especially, were the most affected with very less rainfall activity during this season. On the right-hand side, this is the average rainfall and percentage departure during the October, November, December, and for the season as a whole, October to December. So what I find that for the country as a whole, if I look at, it was near normal rainfall activity during October. It was highly deficient in the month of November, almost 55% deficient. In the month of December, it became opposite. It became highly excess, that is 73.8%, almost you can say 74% excess. So consider the season as a whole, therefore, you got the near normal activity. So rainfall was 117.4 against normal of 121.0. So it was just 3% below normal, which comes under the category of normal. Now, if we consider this season, as October to December, this is marked by northeast monsoon, and hence the southeast peninsula gets more rainfall. And if you look at the image on the left-hand side, you can find that southern peninsula has got good rainfall activity. So the core region of northeast monsoon, or you can say southeast peninsula, that consists of 5 meteorological subdivisions, that is coastal Andhra Pradesh, Rayalaseema, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, South Inter Karnataka, and Kerala. Now, these 5 subdivisions, if we just look at, they got excess rainfall during this year, that is 21.6%, and that was the forecast. And month-wise, if you just look at, and this was near normal, or you can slightly excess in the month of October, but it was deficient in month of November, 36% deficient. Compared to country as a whole, it was less deficient, but however, it was deficient in November. But in December, it was highly, exceptionally excess. It was 193% above the normal. And that resulted in excess rainfall for the season as a whole. So what I want to say that there was large scale variation from month to month, and finally total amount of rainfall what we expect, that we got it. It was higher than that. Now let us look at what happened to this northeast monsoon region. That is 5 subdivisions taken together. If I look at the rainfall year to year from 1901 onwards till 2024, you will find that this region got the second highest rainfall after 1946. 1946, it was 153 millimeter, and this year it was 126 millimeter average rainfall for the 5 meteorological subdivisions, that is Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Kerala, South Inter Karnataka, Rayalaseema, and Coastal Andhra Pradesh. You can see from this diagram. In the recent time, if you just look at, we have got very good rainfall activity in 1996. After 1996, there was a decreasing activity, and activity started increasing after 2017. From 2018 onwards, the activity started increasing, and this year it has become the maximum rainfall. So there is an increasing trend. I want to say that rainfall activity over these 5 subdivisions has shown some increasing trend in recent time. Since 2018, for last 4 years, it is going on increasing, and this year it has become therefore the second highest after 1946. Now let us look at the rainfall distribution during December. You can see the blue color is the highly excess rainfall, light blue is the excess rainfall, and yellow, as you know, that is the large deficient, and red is the deficient rainfall zone. So what you find that major part of the country, especially the northwest plains of northwest, you can imagine Himachal and Uttarakhand, and also the central part of the country and southern India got very good rainfall activity. So country as a whole was 73% above the normal rainfall activity, and South Peninsula was 185.8% above normal in the month of December. Now let us look at area weighted rainfall activity for all India for the month of December. Here also you will find that there is an increasing trend in the recent time, starting with say 2013. You can see that there is an increasing trend, and this year also rainfall activity was more than last year for the country as a whole in the month of December. Now, rainfall over the country was 27.6 millimeter, which is the 9th highest since 1901 and the highest since 2001. The rainfall over South Peninsular India was the 3rd highest since 1901 and highest since 2001. So, what I want to say, highlight by showing that not only the season, whatever you got, the December rainfall was also in the higher category for this year for both Peninsular India and also for country as a whole. Now let us look at the annual mean land surface area temperature for the country as a whole. This is the anomaly map, that is the departure from normal map. If you just look at the temperature is showing an increasing trend, as all of us know, impact of the climate change, and recent time also it is showing increasing trend, and this year also it has been higher than last few years, last 3 years or 4 years. Now, if I see what was the temperature, it was trend was 0.68 degrees Celsius for 100 years. On data of 1901 to 2024, the trend is 0.68 degrees Celsius for 100 years. Okay. And annual mean air temperature for the country during 2024 was plus 0.65 degrees Celsius. It is above normal, and it is the warmest year on record since 1901. So 2024 was plus 0.65, then 2016 was plus 0.54, 2009 was plus 0.40, 2010 plus 0.39, and 2017 was plus 0.38. So this is the case for the annual average temperature for the land surface over India. The annual mean land surface temperature average over India during 24, I am repeating, was plus 0.65 degrees Celsius above the long period average. And this long period average is based on the data of 1991 to 2020, the latest normal prepared by IMD. The year 2024 was the warmest year on the record, therefore, since 1901, and previous highest warming observed in 2016, at the time it was plus 0.54. Now let us look at the temperature month-wise during 2024 and its rank since 1901. If I just look at month-wise temperature of maximum temperature, this last four rows I'll draw your attention. You will find that it was in the second rank, second highest temperature in the month of November, and fourth highest for the year as a whole. And for June, July, September monsoon season, the fifth highest temperature. Now consider minimum temperature. If you find out February, last February was the second highest. Then it was the highest in the month of July, August, September, October. Then annually also it is highest. January, February also highest. June, July, September is also highest. October, December is also highest. So what I want to say that if I compare maximum temperature and the minimum temperature, the rise in minimum temperature during 2024 has been quite high. Maximum temperature is not so much worried, but minimum temperature has increased. It was the number one in 4 months. Actually, that is July, August, September, October. Then it was number 2 in February. So as a result, annual was also number 1. Now consider mean temperature. Mean means it is the average of maximum temperature and minimum temperature. That shows that it was also the number 1, consider the annual average temperature that I have discussed in the previous slide. And monsoon season was the second in the rank temperature this year, that is 2024, and October and December was the highest. Now let us look at temperature and its anomaly for the month of December. It is data is up to 31st December in case of minimum temperature and 30 December in case of the maximum temperature. So what you find that the top one is the actual value and the bottom one is the anomaly. Anomaly means deviation from the average, long period average or normal, deviation from normal. So what you find that the green color you can find many places except UP, Bihar, northeastern states and some parts of the peninsula. So where the maximum temperature was higher than normal. I consider minimum temperature, you will find that it has been higher in many parts of the country, especially central India and South India. And mean temperature, just look at that has happened higher than normal has been in the central part and the South India mainly, and Eastern India, of course. So if I just look at this thing and compare with the rainfall, what has happened in the month of December, you find that the area where we have got the higher rainfall activity, the minimum temperature has been higher, and according to the mean temperature has been higher. It is natural because once you have got the rainfall, that means there is a cloudiness, and because of the cloudiness, you got higher minimum temperature. Now let us look at the temperature during December for all India and homogeneous regions. So all India temperatures, if I consider maximum temperature, it was not so high, but it was 5th highest minimum temperature of 13.22 degrees Celsius, and mean temperature was 6th highest, that is 19.46. Now there is no such rank in Northwest India temperature and East and Northeast India temperature. Only South Peninsula, if I just consider, it was the minimum temperature was the highest. It was 20.86 against normal of 18.771. So this is the highest minimum temperature because of the high cloudiness and the high rainfall activity. As you've seen, the 73% above normal rainfall activity in December over peninsular India. And according to the minimum temperature became the highest for South Peninsular India. Now, the highest temperature records, if I compare with the ranks since 1901, same thing I have told you in the previous slide, but here it will more explicitly mentioned here the minimum temperature for December. All India, if we just look at it, was the 5th rank. All India mean temperature also, it was 6th rank. And East and Northeast India, it was the 5th rank. South Peninsular India, minimum temperature was the highest, that is the rank number 1. Then South Peninsular India, the mean temperature also was rank number 1. And Central India, it was the minimum temperature, the rank number 5. So if I summarize what I want to say, that the minimum temperature was quite high this year over South Peninsular India, followed by the Central India. It was so high that it was the highest temperature of minimum in South India. Now let us look at the rainfall times in South Peninsular India, temperature, minimum temperature. You will find that there is a tendency, just like rainfall was increasing, you have seen. Now, if you look at the minimum temperature also, it is showing an increasing trend in recent time. So cloudiness is increasing, rainfall is increasing. As a result, the minimum temperature is also increasing in recent time over South Peninsular India. Now, if I go to the mean temperature is also showing, but not so much trend. So that means the trend is mainly the rising trend of temperature of South Peninsula is mainly in terms of the minimum temperature or night temperature, and it could be attributed to the increased rainfall activity and hence the cloudiness of South Peninsula India. Now let us look at the verification of the rainfall forecast what we issued for month of December. On the left hand side, this is the diagram showing the actual rainfall probability. What happened actually? Blue indicates the above normal, green indicates the normal, and orange indicates the below normal rainfall activity. What happened? So what do you find actually? It was normal to above normal rainfall activity on most parts of the country, except many parts of Bihar, East UP, Jharkhand, North Bengal, and then northeastern states. Now let us look at what is the forecast. On right hand side is the forecast. The blue color indicates the above normal, and green color indicates the normal, and yellow color indicates the below normal rainfall activity. So if I compare both the diagrams, what I find that we predicted that rainfall will be normal to above normal for most parts of the country, and that has happened. And we predicted that there will be below normal rainfall activity over northeastern states and UP. That has happened. But there was a mixed, Jharkhand also it followed below normal, it has happened like that. But there was below normal activity over North Bengal, but forecast was only South and West Bengal and Sikkim. Some parts of West Bengal also has become below normal. So more or less, if I just look at the Jammu and Kashmir area, eastern part of Ladakh became normal rainfall activity while respected to that below normal. So compare, say about 90% of area, if I compare, are in agreement with each other. So there is a very good agreement in the forecast rainfall and the actual rainfall. So this is for December. Now let us look at the TMAX category 2024 forecast and actual. Right hand side is the forecast maximum temperature for December, and left hand side was the observed maximum temperature. So what you find that prediction was that most places you will have above normal maximum temperature, but that did not happen. There has a maximum temperature, but especially West Central India, Northwest India, some parts of East Coast and Peninsular India, where the temperature has been normal to below normal. That was not predicted. So, though the above normal temperature occurred in many places, but these areas below normal temperature could not be predicted. Prediction was normal to above normal temperature. Now let us look at the minimum temperature. On left hand side shows the actual minimum temperature. You can see that yes, minimum temperature has been above normal in many parts of the country, most parts of the country, except some parts of Northwest India. And prediction, if you just look at it, was also the above normal temperature activity over most parts of the country, but Northwest India, the probability is less here to be above normal. And Southern Peninsula and Eastern India was predicted to have the high probability of above normal temperature. So however it is, some parts of Northeast India which experienced normal to excess, experienced normal to below normal minimum temperature could not be predicted. Otherwise, many parts of the country temperature could be predicted for normal, for the minimum temperature. Now let us look at what happened during the weather systems during December. There was a cyclone Fengal, and this Fengal cyclone developed southwest Bay of Bengal, 25th November to 5 December. It crossed North Tamil Nadu coast and close to Puducherry, if you remember. And there was very good rainfall activity in Puducherry. It was 49 centimeters in Puducherry, but highest was actually, I will tell the Puducherry was 51. That is the Mausam AWS district village from. And then we have got the Puducherry itself, 49 centimeters, 48 centimeters. There are different stations in Puducherry and nearby areas. So main target was Puducherry and Villipuram district. And then we've got high rainfall activity also Tirukanur, that is again Puducherry district, then Puducherry town also. So target was Puducherry, if you remember, there was devastations because of the inundation due to the rainfall. Then 2nd December, it was Krishnagiri and Villupuram of Tamil Nadu. There are two districts got again the very high rainfall activity, that is 50 centimeters was the order of rainfall. Then this was the first system I am talking about, that is 1st and 2nd December because of the cyclone Anja. Then second one came the low pressure area, 7 to 15 December, and heavy rainfall spell again over Tamil Nadu. And about 12 to 15 December, there was heavy rainfall activity. There was also heavy to very heavy rainfall with exceptionally heavy rainfall in isolated places on 14 December. Kadana Dam, Tenkasi district, reported 26 centimeter rainfall, and that was the order of rainfall. Tuticorin also got 21 centimeter rainfall. The third system was the Wilmar low pressure area or depression in 12 to 21 December. And there was a long wet spell over Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu during this period. It was a depression over the southwest Bay of Bengal, it was in the central Bay of Bengal. It did not cross the coast as a depression, but it made a loop over the Bay of Bengal region. As a result, there are two spells of rainfall activity because of this depression. And finally, it came to North Tamil Nadu coast and weekend there itself. So it gave very good rainfall activity during 17 to 26 in two different spells. So there was no such active western disturbance for quite a long time, but towards the last week, you can say there was an active western disturbance which caused very good rainfall activity over the western Himalayan region and the plains of northwest India and central India. So therefore, cold wave and cold day conditions are subdued in month of December. So dense fog occurred in isolated places or scattered places. It was not so very dense fog which did not occur in the month of December. Now let us look at some examples. So this is the 24-hour rainfall activity on 27 December. There is activity from 26 8:30 IST to 27 8:30 IST on left-hand side diagram. And the right-hand side diagram, it is the 27 8:30 IST to 28 8:30 IST. You can see how activity was realized over the Western Himalayan region and the adjoining plains of northwest India and the central India. At the same time, also Tamil Nadu edging area got rainfall activity. In the below diagram, you can find out following that western disturbance when it moved away, how the widespread fog occurred in Indo-Gangetic plains. But fog was not very dense. It was there was widespread fog, appearing sometimes it extended out to Bangladesh, starting with Pakistan. But however, intensity of fog was not so high. It went up to moderate to dense fog. Now, this is the case I'm referring to. This is the left-hand side diagram. You can see it was the depression which developed over this area. It moved like this, became well known area. Then it returned and moved and make a loop. It went to North Tamil Nadu coast. So as a result of this, it caused rainfall activity in two spells, and there was very good rainfall activity in terms of it went off to heavy rainfall activity. It caused heavy rainfall activity over Odisha in two stages, and Andhra Pradesh also in two stages, especially North Andhra Pradesh. And then Tamil Nadu also got in one spell heavy rainfall activity. The rainfall activity continued even up to some parts of Karnataka and Telangana because of this low pressure system. Now let us look at the heavy rainfall event which occurred in December. So you can find out left-hand side diagram. All these red spots are over Tamil Nadu. So these red spots are nothing but the extremely heavy rainfall. That is rainfall more than 20 centimeters. So that is southern peninsula, especially Tamil Nadu, got all the extreme heavy rainfall activity. If I look at the frequency, it was 30. Number of extreme heavy rainfall events during 2024 was 30. And if you consider 2023, it was 1 only, in 2022, 3 only, 2021, 11 only, and then 2020 was 11 only. That means this year, Tamil Nadu has received more extremely heavy rainfall activity in this month of December. Now, this is the tracks of cyclonic disturbances during the year 2024. Total 13 cyclonic disturbances developed, and during monsoon season, there was 16 low pressure systems against normal of 13. And totally, if you just look at on the average about 11 to 12 cyclone disturbances developed in a year, and this year it was 13. And then out of these 13, 4 were the cyclone storms or severe cyclone storms. 2 were cyclone storms, 2 were severe cyclone storms. Remal and Dana were the severe cyclone storms, and Asna and Fenjal were the cyclone storms. Then we had 6 depressions or deep depressions, and we have got 3 land depressions during the monsoon season. Now, this is the forecast accuracy. If you just look at on the left-hand side diagram, is the average track forecast, the path of the cyclone forecast accuracy. It was 24-hour forecast accuracy was 66 kilometers against long period average of 74 kilometers. So that means forecast accuracy during 2024 is quite good. It has improved even compared to past 5 years. So similarly, if you look at the intensity forecast, it has been just 4 knots, 4 nautical miles per hour. That is roughly 7 kilometers per hour error in 24 hours in advance against long average error of about 15 kilometers or 7.4 knots. If you look at landfall point forecast error, it is 14 kilometers. So that means 24 hours ahead, if I say cyclone across a particular area, there was error of about 14 kilometers either on either side. So 48 hours before, if we say that cyclone cross a particular point X, error was only 24 kilometers. Similar is the case about 72 hours. So what I want to say that landfall point forecast error was even up to 72 hours less than the diameter of the eye of the cyclone. So therefore, you can say almost 0 error, you can say, while predicting the landfall point for any cyclone. And right-hand side is the landfall time error. It is about 3 hours error only, up to 72 hours. So that is the success story of the cyclones. If I look at how it is performing over the long period average, you can find that yes, in recent 5 years there has been improvement in forecast accuracy and the minimization of error compared to previous 5 years, 15 to 19, 20 to 24. The right-hand side, you can see how the errors are decreasing over the years. This comparison from 2003 onwards, we are continuing to improve the forecast. And this is the comparative figure of landfall point error. You can see that how it is reduced over the years from 45 kilometers during 2015 to 19. Now it is 16 kilometers during 20 to 24. So almost 30 kilometer reduction in landfall point forecast in past 5 years. So similar is the case in other. I am not discussing that. And over the period of say 20 years, if we just compare, there is a gradual decrease in error in landfall point forecast. And now almost it is within the eye diameter. Error is within the eye diameter. So that is, now it is very difficult. It is within the eye diameter now, and that is the forecast accuracy. So which is a very ideal one for management of any cyclone. Now this is the intensity forecast. Yes, it is also improving over the years, and we have now very less intensity forecast error, but still there are certain challenges with respect to rapid intensification of the cyclones. Now let's look at the sea surface temperature. If you just look at on the left-hand side diagram, you can find this blue color here. That means this is the area where temperature is less than the average, less than normal. Now, if we look at the Nino 3.4 region, which is our concern, is minus 0.8. That means it is nearby to it's minus 0.5 to weak La Nina conditions, you can say, and this is minus 0.8. Now, on the right-hand side diagram, if you just look at 3.4, you'll see that continuously from August onwards, temperature has been below normal, but it was near within 0.5. Now, in the month of December, it has been more than, it has been less than minus 0.5. It is now minus 0.8, of course. So that means it is almost La Nina conditions or near La Nina conditions. Now let us look at the forecast. If I look at La Nina condition forecast, you will find that December, January, February, then January, February, March, everywhere it is showing the La Nina condition, the probability of La Nina conditions now. Okay. Now all the models, if I just look at the right-hand side, they are all indicating that yes, it is moving towards La Nina conditions, but this La Nina period is temporary. It is not continuing the La Nina conditions for a longer period. After some time, again, it is moving towards neutral conditions. Now, if you look at the Indian Ocean dipole on the below diagram, this is indicating that the neutrality conditions like to emerge in Indian Ocean dipole. This minus 0.4 to plus 0.4, this area, white area, what you see here, that indicates the neutral Indian Ocean dipole conditions. And the models are saying that it will be within neutral Indian Ocean dipole conditions. Now, this is our own model, that is a monsoon mix and climate forecast system. This is also indicating that La Nina-like conditions are likely to continue during January, February, March, and weekend thereafter. This is the left-hand side, the histogram. You can see this is the probability of January, February, March, La Nina conditions. The blue line indicates the La Nina conditions. The green line indicates the neutral conditions. The red line indicates the El Nino conditions. So there is no probability of El Nino conditions. It will La Nina conditions for a temporary period. Thereafter, it will be again the neutral conditions for 2025. Now, let us look at our model-based Indian Ocean dipole. This is also indicating that neutral Indian Ocean dipole conditions are likely during January, February, and March. So neutral Indian Ocean dipole conditions are prevailing now, and is expected to continue for January, February, March. Now let us look at the probabilistic forecast for the season, January, February, March. These 3 months rainfall forecast. The rainfall forecast is very important during the month of January to March for Northwest India, or you can say North India. Therefore, what we do is like previous years, this year also we are issuing a special forecast for North India. When I say North India, actually it is the Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, and Punjab, and Rajasthan. So this is the area where people go for crops, wheats, etc. So we give a special forecast. Now, as for this forecast over North India, rainfall is most likely to be below normal, that is less than 86% of the long period average for the period January to March. You can find out in this diagram also, more area is confined with yellow. Yellow means it is below normal probability, but there are certain areas in between where also normal probability. So I will say it will be in the category of normal to below normal, but average, if you just consider, it is the below normal category. There are also certain areas with above normal also. On the average, you will find it is the below normal category. The long period average rainfall for North India during January, February, March, based on data of 1971 to 2020, is about 184.3 millimeters. The seasonal rainfall for the country as a whole, if you look at for January, February, March, is most likely to be normal. It is mainly because the South India, Central India, all are expected to get above normal to normal rainfall activity. So this will compensate the below normal rainfall expected for Northwest India and Northeast India, where you can find out the yellow marks. The long period average rainfall for the country as a whole is about 69.7 millimeters. So normal to above normal rainfall activity is likely over over most parts of the country, you can say, except Northwest India and Northeast India. Now let us look at the monthly rainfall probability forecast for January. Now if we look at January, then you find that the rainfall activity, sorry, it is in January to March, it is January. Average over North India is most likely above normal. You can see here. The more area is confined with blue or green. That indicates that average rainfall, if you just look at UP, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Punjab, and Rajasthan, you will get the above normal rainfall activity. The long period average of North India during January is 49.0 millimeter. So please read it January only, it is not January, February, March. The seasonal rainfall for the country as a whole during January is likely to be above normal. You can find out from this diagram. We are expecting normal to above normal activity in most parts of the country, except some parts in Northeast India and Northwest India. So what I want to say that while the season, Northwest India rainfall will be below normal, for the month of January, Northwest India rainfall will be above normal. Now let us look at the temperature. Left hand side is the minimum temperature, right hand side is the maximum temperature. The minimum temperatures are expected to be above normal in many parts of the country. You can see in the diagram, except some parts of eastern India, northwest India, and west central India. This green and blue colors that indicates normal to below normal minimum temperature. Otherwise, remaining parts will have above normal minimum temperature. On the right hand side diagram, we will have the maximum temperature, monthly maximum temperature for January 2025, likely to be above normal in many parts of the country, except some parts of northwest India. You can see here green and blue color and or violet color, and here also in eastern India and some part of central and peninsular India. So it is a mixed one, I would say, the maximum temperature, but it's very clear that northeast India and hills of northwest India will have the above normal rainfall, will have the above normal temperature, that is maximum temperature. So what I want to say that minimum temperatures has the higher probability to become above normal in many parts of the country, whereas the maximum temperature is a mixed one. In certain areas, there will be above normal, in certain areas, it will be below normal maximum temperature. Now, if I consider the anomaly of cold wave duration days for January 2025, now what you find that there are possibility of this color. If we just look at white, means it is 0, that is departure from number of cold wave days is depicted in this diagram. White means departure is 0. When I say it is this color, light red, you can say, or something like that, it is just -1. That means the cold wave days are expected over this region, but cold wave days will be less. It will be less than the normal activities. But there are certain pockets, say for example, Gujarat and adjoining West MP and Maharashtra, where you can find that cold wave days are expected to be higher than normal. So while plains of northwest India, Indo-Gangetic plains are expected to be slightly less than the actual number of cold wave days, the Gujarat and adjoining Madhya Pradesh and northern parts of Maharashtra are expected to be slightly higher than the usual number of cold wave days. Okay. Now let us, मैं आप सभी को अभी थोड़ा हिंदी में बताऊंगा. So आगामी सर्दियों के ऋतु जनवरी से मार्च के दौरान उत्तर भारत के 7 मौसम संबंधी उपखंडों जैसे पूर्व उत्तर प्रदेश, पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश, उत्तराखंड, हरियाणा, पंजाब, मध्य प्रदेश, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर और लद्दाख में होने वाले बारिश सामान्य से नीचे दीर्घावधि औसत एलपीए का लेस देन 86% रहने का संभावना है. जनवरी से मार्च के मौसम के दौरान पूरे देश में ऋतुनिष्ठ बारिश सामान्य एलपीए का 80 to 112% रहने की संभावना है. देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से लेकर सामान्य से अधिक ऋतुनिष्ठ वर्षा होने की संभावना है. केवल उत्तर पश्चिम भारत के कुछ हिस्सों, पूर्व के कुछ हिस्सों और पूर्वोत्तर भारत के कुछ हिस्सों को छोड़कर जहां सामान्य से नीचे बारिश होने का संभावना है, जैसे यह चित्र से दिखाई दे रहा है, जो पीला कलर होता है वहां बारिश कम होने का संभावना है और जो वायोलेट और ब्लू कलर है, ग्रीन कलर है, वहां नॉर्मल से एबो नॉर्मल रेनफॉल होने का संभावना है. ना जनवरी महीने का बात करें तो उत्तर भारत के 7 मौसम संबंधी उपखंडों जैसे कि पूर्व उत्तर प्रदेश, पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश, उत्तराखंड, हरियाणा, पंजाब, मध्य प्रदेश, जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख में जनवरी 25 के लिए मासिक वर्षा सामान्य से अधिक दीर्घावधि औसत यानी लॉन्ग पीरियड एवरेज का 122% से अधिक रहने का संभावना है. जनवरी 2025 के दौरान पूरे देश में मासिक वर्षा भी सामान्य से अधिक दीर्घावधि औसत यानी एलपीए का 180% से ज्यादा होने का संभावना है. देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से अधिक वर्षा होने की संभावना है. केवल उत्तर पश्चिम भारत के कुछ हिस्सों और पूर्वोत्तर और मध्य भारत के कुछ हिस्सों को छोड़कर जहां सामान्य से नीचे वर्षा होने की संभावना है. न्यूनतम तापमान की बात करें तो जनवरी 2025 के दौरान देश के कई हिस्सों में मासिक न्यूनतम तापमान सामान्य से अधिक रहने का संभावना है। सिवाय पूर्व, उत्तर पश्चिम, उत्तर मध्य और पूर्व भारत के कुछ हिस्सों को छोड़कर जहां सामान्य से नीचे न्यूनतम तापमान होने का संभावना है। अधिकतम तापमान की बात करें तो जनवरी 2025 के लिए मासिक अधिकतम तापमान देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से अधिक रहने का संभावना है। सिवाय उत्तर पश्चिम, मध्य और आसपास के पूर्व भारत और दक्षिण प्रायद्वीप के कुछ हिस्सों में, जहां हिस्सों छोड़कर जहां सामान्य से नीचे तापमान होने का संभावना दिखाई दे रहा है। और जनवरी 2025 माह के लिए शीतलहर की अवधि की बात करें तो जनवरी 2025 के महीने में के दौरान मध्य भारत के पश्चिम और उत्तर हिस्सों में, जैसे मैं बात कर रहा था कि गुजरात और इसके आसपास इलाका जो मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान और नॉर्थ महाराष्ट्र है, वहाँ जितना शीतलहर होता है वहां से थोड़ा से ज्यादा होने का संभावना है, यानी 1-2 दिन ज्यादा होने का संभावना है। और मैक्सिमम 3 दिन गुजरात में दिखाई दे रहा है, गुजरात रीजन में। मगर जो कोल्ड कोर जोन है, जैसे कि राजस्थान, पंजाब, उत्तर प्रदेश, नॉर्थ छत्तीसगढ़, झारखंड और बिहार, उस इलाके में जितना दिन शीतलहर होता है यूजुअली, इससे 1 दिन कम होने का संभावना दिखाई दे रहा है, मैंने बिलो नॉर्मल कोल्ड वेव डेज वहां होगा। और गुजरात और एडजनिंग एरियाज जैसे नॉर्थ महाराष्ट्र, वेस्ट एमपी, साउथ राजस्थान एरिया में नॉर्मली जितना कोल्ड वेव होता है इससे 1-2 दिन ज्यादा होने का संभावना है। अभी हम आने वाले हफ्ते में क्या होगा, इफ वी लुक एट व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन ड्यूरिंग नेक्स्ट 2 वीक्स, आफ्टर दिस वीक इज going to be over by tomorrow. The 2nd January to 9 January week, if I look at what I find that वेस्टर्न हिमालयन रीजन, जैसे कि हम आज भी प्रेडिक्शन किए हैं, एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहे हैं। देयरफॉर वेस्टर्न हिमालयन रीजन लाइक जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, लद्दाख, हिमाचल प्रदेश, उत्तराखंड में बारिश या बर्फबारी होगा और कुछ इलाके में मॉडरेट बर्फबारी 6 सेंटीमीटर तक, यानी 60 सेंटीमीटर बर्फबारी यानी 6 सेंटीमीटर तक रेनफॉल होने का संभावना है। और इसको हम नॉर्मल के साथ कंपेयर करें तो एबो नॉर्मल रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी होगा, यानी एबो नॉर्मल रेनफॉल और स्नोफॉल एक्टिविटी होगा, स्पेशली जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, लद्दाख और हिमाचल प्रदेश और उत्तराखंड। इसलिए हम ये चेतावनी दे रहे हैं कि हम सतर्क रहे। आने वाले जो वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहे हैं इसमें भी, जैसे लास्ट डिस्टर्बेंस गया, इसमें भी वेस्टर्न हिमालयन रीजन स्पेशली जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, हिमाचल और एडजनिंग उत्तराखंड इसमें प्रभावित होगा। और सबसे ज्यादा प्रभावित होगा जम्मू एंड कश्मीर एंड हिमाचल प्रदेश। और इसका नेक्स्ट वीक की बात करें तो इसमें बारिश रहेगा जम्मू एंड कश्मीर उत्तराखंड, यानी और भी वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस आएगा, मगर वो इतना एक्टिव नहीं होगा जैसे अभी आने वाले हफ्ता में होने वाला है। एट द सेम टाइम जो साउथ इंडिया है, साउथ इंडिया अभी नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून चल रहा है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून का इम्पैक्ट देखने को मिलेगा नेक्स्ट 2 वीक्स में, और बारिश होगा। और बे ऑफ बंगाल लग रहा है कि जैसे एक्टिव रहेगा ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड 9 जनवरी टू 16 जनवरी। इसके प्रभाव में साउथ पेनिनसुलर इंडिया में बारिश होगा। एंड ये 9 टू 16 जो हफ्ता है उस हफ्ता में एबो नॉर्मल रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी एक्सपेक्टेड है तमिलनाडु, साउथ केरला, एडजनिंग एरियाज ऑफ आंध्र प्रदेश। बात करें टेम्परेचर का तो मिनिमम टेम्परेचर आप देखेंगे जो 3 जनवरी टू 9 जनवरी है, इसमें एबो नॉर्मल रहने का संभावना है कि जैसे हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस आएगा, तो वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस आता है तो क्लाउडीनेस आता है, ह्यूमिडिटी बढ़ जाता है, सो मिनिमम टेम्परेचर एबो नॉर्मल होता है। सो दिस इज एन एग्रीमेंट विद द थ्योरी। और नेक्स्ट हफ्ता हम चलेंगे तब फिर टेम्परेचर बिलो नॉर्मल हो जाएगा, यानी कोल्ड कोर जोन जो है वहाँ टेम्परेचर फॉल होगा 10 जनवरी से 16 जनवरी के पीरियड पे। और दैट मीन्स कभी कभी कोल्ड वेव कंडीशंस आ सकता है 10 जनवरी से 16 जनवरी के बीच, मगर 3 जनवरी से 9 जनवरी के बीच में मिनिमम टेम्परेचर ऑन द एवरेज एबो रहेगा। हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस के प्रभाव में बारिश हो सकता है, जैसे मैं पहले बोल रहा था, और इसके प्रभाव में टेम्परेचर भी एबो नॉर्मल रहने का संभावना है। तो मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर की बात करें, जैसे हम बोल रहे थे कि ये दिखाई दे रहा है क्या कि प्लेट कोर्स जो आप देखेंगे, जो कोल्ड कोर जोन है वो कोल्ड कोर जोन में एबो नॉर्मल maximum temperature expected है 3 to 9 जनवरी। और इसके बाद जो हफ्ता आ रहे हैं 10 से 16 तब टेम्परेचर बिलो नॉर्मल दिखाई दे रहा है। इसका मतलब होता है कभी कभी कोल्ड डे कंडीशंस भी डेवलप हो सकता है along with cold day conditions during the period of 10 January to 16 January over the cold core zone extending from Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan towards the central parts of the country like North Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and adjacent areas of Odisha, etc. Jharkhand, Bihar, UP. अभी हम नेक्स्ट 7 डेज का वार्निंग की बात करें। जैसे मैं अभी बोल रहा था एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, इसलिए हम वार्निंग भी इशू किए हैं। और अभी जो वार्निंग चल रहा है ये ऐसा है कि ओवर ईस्ट अफगानिस्तान के लोअर ट्रोपोस्फियर लेवल पे अभी वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस है और एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस फेस्ट डेवलपमेंट होगा और इराक और नेबरहुड में अपियर हो रहा है। ये दोनों कॉन्जिक्यूटिवली एक के बाद एक आकर नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया को प्रभावित करेगा और सबसे ज्यादा प्रभाव तो रहेगा पीरियड में कंप्लीटली अप टू 6th प्रभाव रहेगा वेस्टर्न हिमालयन रीजन पे। और जो प्लेन्स ऑफ नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया है वहां इसका प्रभाव 5th और 6th जनवरी में रहेगा। So dense fog or cold day conditions likely to continue over parts of northwest and central India for next 2 days and improve thereafter क्योंकि वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहे हैं। So इसके प्रभाव में वो फॉग कंडीशन और कोल्ड डे कंडीशन में सुधार आएगा। So thank you very much। आप सभी को विशेष रूप से धन्यवाद। आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है कमेंट्स है तो आप अभी पूछ सकते हैं। हाँ बोलिए, प्लीज टेल।
इस बार
हाँ अनिरुद्ध जी बोलिए, आई थिंक थोड़ा आपका आवाज टूट रहा है। सुना नहीं दे रहा है अनिरुद्ध जी। हाँ बोलिए आप।
Sir, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jacob ji.
So, you have pointed out about the rising temperatures in December during in South India, but I also wanted to check if one of your graphs, one of the table presentations, also showed that is there any trend in the minimum temperatures in North and Northwest India? I mean, is it been are the minimum temperatures declining over recent years, or is there no trend? Thank you.
That I have not shown here. I just showed what has happened in December. So since December, the South India was showing the higher temperatures that we compared. I'll request my colleague Dr. Srijit to share you the information.
Sir, I think it was there in one of the, in one of the tables you presented, it showed a ranking of December temperatures. So that's why I was interested.
Yes, we will put in that climate summary also. We will put. We'll
Okay.
share the details.
Okay.
You are telling that I have shown you.
Yeah, it was there in the presentation itself.
That is in a table. It is there, but a graph it is not there. Graph I have not. Means so many graphs was there. That is why I removed it.
So you can share in the media
I will
group.
share.
Yeah. But is there a trend? That's all I want to know.
Slightly here is there. I will share that.
Yeah. So in
Okay.
general, I will tell you there is a rising trend in minimum temperature in most parts of the country. Okay. So actual value, etc., it will be given you. It will be shared.
Okay.
And if
By
I
rising
compare
trend, you mean it is warming, or is it getting colder?
No, winter season is becoming warmer.
Okay, even in December. Okay.
Yeah, winter season is becoming warmer. And I will tell you, if you compare, say, January, February, October, November, December, and monsoon season, June, July, August, September, then pre-monsoon season, the maximum warming takes place during the post-monsoon season and winter season.
Yes.
That is the trend, long-term trend I'm talking about. Yeah. So, however, we'll share with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. बोलिए अनिरुद्ध जी।
इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, इसलिए शायद नहीं आ रही थी सर इस साल। हेलो।
नहीं तो आप चार्ट में, हाँ बोलिए बोलिए, सुनाई दे रहा है, बोलिए।
हाँ सर, कुंभ हो रहा है इलाहाबाद में, वहाँ इस दौरान कैसा मौसम रहेगा?
हाँ,
भारत की
बहुत
सबसे
बहुत
बड़ी
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
गैस।
आपको, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अनुरुद्ध जी। महाकुंभ मेला जो होने वाला है इलाहाबाद में, प्रयागराज में, इसके लिए हम भी हमारा पदक्षेप ले रहे हैं। स्पेशल फोरकास्ट हम इश्यू करेंगे, स्पेशल ऑब्जर्वेशन हम प्रयागराज में लेंगे। इसके साथ हम राज्य सरकार के साथ ये बातचीत कर रहे हैं, तालमेल कर रहे हैं। हमारा ऑब्जर्वेशन कैसे डिस्प्ले होगा, लोगों के पास पहुंचेगा, इसके लिए हम एक स्पेशल वेब पेज भी डेवलप कर रहे हैं, और सभी जानकारी हम देंगे महाकुंभ मेला के टाइम।
भी जिस तरह का आपने से वहाँ कैसा लग रहा रहेगा?
अभी तो देखिए, जो महाकुंभ मेला के टाइम जो फोरकास्ट दिया जाएगा, वो तो एज पर डे टू डे फोरकास्ट दिया जाएगा। नेक्स्ट 7 डेज का जो फोरकास्ट है वो दिया जाएगा। और इसके साथ साथ अब जैसे एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट हमने आपको बताया, अभी एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट के हिसाब से आप जो देखा है, इसमें जो ये तो लॉन्ग रेंज, ये तो एक स्पेसिफिक स्टेशन के लिए एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट हम नहीं दे पाएंगे, और इसको एक एवरेज व्यू आप ले सकते हैं। एवरेज व्यू के हिसाब से आप देखेंगे कि जो वीक आ रहे हैं 9 to 16, इसमें कोई बारिश ऐसे दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है। ओके, और ये एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट है 9 to 16। फिर 16 to 23 में देखूं तब भी कोई बारिश नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है। एज पर एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट प्रयागराज एरिया में कोई बारिश नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है 9 onwards, मगर हमारा लेटेस्ट एक्सटेंडेड फोरकास्ट फिर कल आएगा। और टेम्परेचर की बात करें तो टेम्परेचर नॉर्मल टू एबो नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर 9 जनवरी तक है, और 9 जनवरी के बाद आप मिनिमम टेम्परेचर देखें तो बिलो नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर एक्सपेक्टेड है, क्योंकि वेस्टर्न में जाएगा। सो प्रोबेबिलिटी यही है कि महाकुंभ मेला के टाइम टेम्परेचर बिलो नॉर्मल हो सकता है प्रयागराज एरिया में, और मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर भी नॉर्मल से बिलो नॉर्मल हो सकता है प्रयागराज एरिया में। सो लो कसस होना चाहिए। सो कभी कभी कोल्ड डे कंडीशंस या कोल्ड डे कंडीशंस भी डेवलप हो सकता है, मगर इसका विशेष जानकारी हम ऑन डे टू डे बेसिस देंगे।
ठीक सर।
फाइन, या
Sir,
सुब्रमण्यन जी।
yeah, sir, you have said that the temperature will be above normal, but the rainfall will be, below normal during January to March. Will that have any impact on agriculture, or is there any advice that you would want to give to the farmers?
Yeah, so ये जो forecast, whatever forecast we are issuing, that is given to the Minister of Agriculture and concerned states also. The forecast is being provided, and they take the actions actually, whatever, because it needs very sophisticated informations by the experts from agriculture. So we do not issue that type of information on our own, but when we issue on day-to-day basis on Tuesday and Friday, valid for next 5 days, at that time, agriculture experts from state, central universities, Department of Agriculture, meet with meteorological experts from IMD, and a joint bulletin is provided and expected impact is provided. So what will the impact? It will also depend upon the stage of the crop and type of the crop and different areas that therefore will be decided by the local experts.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So ये जो below normal rainfall मैं आपको थोड़ा बता देता हूँ कि below normal rainfall we predicted for the season as a whole, but above normal rainfall has been predicted for the month of January for Northwest India. Right. हाँ मैडम जयश्री।
Yeah, hello sir. Happy New Year to you. Sir, I wanted to know all of 2024 for almost many parts of the globe we saw extreme temperatures, including India. Now, in this year, is the grip gradually loosening? Are we going to see La Nina period for a long time? Is it going to be moderate temperatures? I know it's too early to tell, but just your views overall on what you think.
Yeah, it is too early. We cannot tell about that. Again, what I told you that La Nina is not expected to persist for a longer period. So we are expecting La Nina conditions maybe there from January to March. Thereafter, it may become neutral conditions. So the expected impact from La Nina in terms of temperature, what we usually expect, that is not likely, because it will be very short-term La Nina conditions, and it is also not very moderate or strong La Nina. It's just weak La Nina conditions that is going to develop. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think there is no other hands raised. So thank you very much. So once again, I wish you and your families a very happy and prosperous New Year. And thank you very much for working with us in collaboration to serve the people. We have been very successful. I also congratulate all of you for serving the country by providing timely information being generated by IMD and reaching out to the last mile. So success goes to you. So thank you very much. We'll meet again next month.